Welcome back to the class, everyone. Today we have a very fun video and a little bit different than we've been doing recently. But before we get into that, actually, I am going to be doing this. We're joined by Star Wars Dad. So Star Wars Dad, tell everyone a little bit about yourself, about your channel, what you do.
Yeah, sure. Hey, Calvin, thanks for having me on. It's really fun to be here and good to collaborate with somebody. But yeah, I'm Star Wars Dad. I'm also known as Nooch and Nooch Too Good. But I've been playing Galaxy Heroes since day one the game came out. I've had multiple accounts I've run through. I've got, and I think the one we're going to look at today is an account I had from day one, and I actually am not on that account anymore, but it's still out there. But on my channel, what I've been doing for the last year and a half is doing free-to-play GL rushes to see how they go. My first one was a Kylo rush, and I'm currently in the middle of a Sith Eternal rush, and I got more plans once that's done. Actually, I'm almost at the end of a Sith Eternal rush. But also on the channel, we do other Star Wars stuff. We play Lego Star Wars battles, and we look a little bit at some other Star Wars games as well, with those being the focus. And yeah, so that's what's going on with the channel. Thanks, Calvin.
Yeah, so what we're going to be, thank you for that introduction to yourself as well. But what we're going to be talking about today is actually passion projects. On the channel, we've recently been going over the best ways to do certain things with your roster, to be helpful tips and whatnot. But what I kind of want to stray away from a little bit in this video, not a lot, but a little, is not being a total slave to the efficient roster. I think that's great. I'm going to keep making videos on it. I'm going to keep making content on it. But at the same time, there is something to say about just kind of doing what you want with your roster. So Star Wars Dad, we have actually a perfect example here on screen. This is from, like you said, one of your accounts of a Relic 5 Phoenix. So before we talk about Phoenix themselves, why did you think this is important? Why did you get enjoyment out of doing something that might not have been, quote unquote, the wisest choice with your roster?
Well, you know, it's funny. I'm not even really a big Rebels fan. I mean, I like Rebels. I like scenes out of Rebels. I've never watched it all the way through. You know, I kind of have a personality quirk where I like to do different things, and I don't like to do, like you just mentioned, you know, what are the paths we can take off and have fun with the game. So I like to try some different stuff, and I feel like if it's not going to harm your farm at the end of the day, then why not go and try something? So that was, boy, I want to say 4 years ago. And when stuff first came out, I got all my Phoenix up to Gear 12, and I gave them all their Zetas. And then when Relic came out, I made them all Relic. And the problem is you find along the way that you thought they might be really cool and do some cool stuff, and they just never did. They could never quite come together and be a really cool team. But I had a lot of fun getting them up, and it certainly helped my Rebel ships for a while before the new metas and Rebels came out too.
Yeah, and this is something, I mean, really why we do passion projects, or we do, again, things that aren't the most efficient thing with our roster, is to just kind of see what really is out there. And I know it's not a great comparison, but the closest thing that my roster has to a passion project is a Relic 8 CLS, and that's a big deal for me because the only Relic 8s that I have outside of CLS are either Galactic Legends or Galactic Legend requirements. And it's just kind of fun to see what barriers you can push with that, whether it be in TB or TW or GAC, how the counter works. And CG also has this really cool thing that they've been doing where they've been making every single team or character relevant in some way or function. I guess while we're on Phoenix, do you have any idea what might happen with Phoenix later down the road that could make them even more valuable than they are now, which probably isn't saying too much, but...
Yeah, it's so hard. Like, you know, they came out with the Omicron, and I was waiting for it when they announced the Omicrons, and they had Hera on the list. And then when they announced the Omicron, it was like, boom, TW, and your shoulders sink. You're like, because I really focus on Grand Arena for the most part. Mm-hmm. I'm in a guild that we've only lost one TW ever, and we do just fine there. So for me, the Grand Arena, and I didn't get what I wanted there. I don't know, man. You know, people talk about Fulcrum all the time and giving her some Phoenix synergy, and that's not like nothing unique about me saying that. Just something to make them so they're not just cream puffs, and you have to split them up. You know, right now you can take Ezra and Kanan. You can probably find a home for them on a Jedi team somewhere, especially Ezra for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But and Sabine can slide into a Mandalorian team. You know, she's okay over there. But then you got those 3 characters left over that you know, Hera has no place in a non-Phoenix team. Like she's just an absolute nothing if there's no Phoenix around her. So I don't know what else they could do except pop more Omicrons on there. Maybe give them Maybe give her a Grand Arena Omicron on top. I don't really know. It's hard to say at this point. They just don't seem to be a really big focus of the group.
So
you CG, I guess.
You mentioned Hera, and Hera's really interesting because while you're correct, she really has no place in the game outside of Phoenix. And I think you know where I'm going with this. Outside of Phoenix, but what is she right now? Why is Hera important to the game?
Yeah, well, she's out there for the my brain's farting. What's the new ship?
Profundity.
Thank you.
Yeah, so
it's very profound of you to come up with that.
So there are, again, and this isn't kind of like, we're not trying to necessarily just justify a passion project, but there are going to be other things that are going to happen every once in a while. Like I know several people who fully relic their Jawas, and that's something that Jabba is going to come and help. So there are other advantages and other reasons why you can kind of jump a little bit out of the comfort zone to do something that you might not normally do. Again, just trying to make the account your own instead of having, you know, a cop and carby of the 10 best or the 20 best teams, even though I do really like a lot of that stuff. But I think that pretty much covers it. Is there any character, so we talked about Hera being a requirement. Do you think any of the other Phoenix could be a requirement for something later down the line?
I didn't. You kind of got out there. What'd you say?
I was asking, is there any other Phoenix character that could be a requirement for something later down the line?
Yeah, it's I don't know. Are there? It's so hard to say. Maybe they work really. Maybe the ships work really well with the Profundity because those ships.
That's true.
When you look at when you look at Phantom and Ghost, when they first came out, they were really effective and they gave the Rebels a shot, and then that faded over time. Then you brought in Biston and Pathfinder, who are also kind of always been. If you look up the Rebel fighters in that account, you're going to see Biston and Pathfinder right in the middle of that too. They've always kind of been a special of mine because I always love that home one fleet. But maybe Profundity that the Phantom and Ghost find a new home either with the home one or maybe Profundity, and they become really effective again. Where you'd want to have those characters relict or highly geared or put their Zetas on just to get the galactic power for the ship.
That's a good point. So maybe not like a direct requirement like name Hera Syndulla has to be R5, but a way that they are the most optimal for the team. I guess similar to a Cat and JMK situation where you don't really need Cat to unlock JMK, but you don't really have a JMK team without Cat. So, all right, I think that's... Right. Sorry, continue.
No, I agree with that. And obviously they're going to be going more that direction to find individual characters for Galactic Legends, but I don't think they're going to come up with a helper character for the Phoenix.
Yeah, at least right now. I mean, there are other mediums, other sources coming out in the future, so maybe they'll do something, or again, maybe they'll just end up being requirements for everything else. But all right, so that does cover everything that we wanted to talk about today. Star Wars Dad, thank you very much for being here. Appreciate your time. Do you have anything you would like to tell everyone before we head off?
No, pop over the channel, Star Wars Dad. We're having a lot of fun with Galaxy Heroes and several other Star Wars games. And yeah, join our community. We've got a great community, and I really appreciate having me on, Calvin.
Yeah, thank you for being here. So, again, everyone remember to like and subscribe. Check out Star Wars Dad's channel. And as always, Nooch too good.